Aloha kako. My name is Andrea Perez-Croker, and I'm here with my colleagues Keiki Kawaiʻaia, Larry Kimura, and Danny Yarborough. We'd like to welcome you to our presentation on Kaniʻāina, a partnership in language science across two campuses of the University of Hawaiʻi, UH Hilo on Hawaii Island and UH Manoa on Oahu. Kaniʻāina is a digital repository project that grows out of decades of successful cutting-edge immersion-based language education and statewide interest in promoting ʻŌlelo Hawaii use at every level. This partnership represents a continuing refinement of the methods of language documentation and technologies for preserving, disseminating, and mobilizing 4 decades of documentation of spoken ʻŌlelo Hawaii.
Pili no miki aloha. O wau no o Keiki Kawaiʻaia, and I'd like to share a bit about the Kaniʻāina project and our cross-campus partnership. Kaniʻāina Voices of the Land is a digital repository of Native Hawaiian speech with a bilingual ʻŌlelo Hawaii and English interface aimed at documentation and preservation of the Hawaiian language. As a growing digital corpus of nearly 1,000 hours of recordings, Kaniʻāina provides interactive access to Native Hawaiian speech and transcripts through a bilingual digital library interface. The Ulukau Hawaiian Electronic Library hosts the Kaniʻāina project. Ulukau is a bilingual digital library interface that houses a wealth of Hawaiian knowledge and language resources, receiving over 2.5 million hits a month. Currently, Kaniʻāina also contains audio collections such as a celebrated Kaleo Hawaii radio broadcast between 1972 and 1988. These recordings are a treasure trove of Hawaiian linguistic, scientific, and cultural knowledge shared among Hawaii's last L1 ʻŌlelo Hawaii speakers born between 1882 and 1920. In 2021, Kaniʻāina launched a model for crowdsourcing transcriptions of recordings. Transcripts are being properly preserved for prosperity in the Kaipuleo Hone Digital Language Archive at UH Manoa. Additionally, Kaniʻāina will be adding additional audio and video Hawaiian language collections in 2022. The Kaniʻāina project is a partnership between Indigenous and non-Indigenous scholars and activists from 2 of the University of Hawaiʻi campuses at UH Hilo and Manoa. As Native serving institutions, both Kahakaʻula o Keʻelikolani College of Hawaiian Language at the UH Hilo and the Department of Linguistics at UH Manoa campuses have contributed their documentation and preservation expertise to the Kaniʻāina project. The Kaniʻāina project has received about $500,000 in project funding from NSF, NEH DL program, and the NSF Tribal Colleges and Universities program, and is grateful for the support to create Kaniʻāina, along with mentoring opportunities for Hawaiian language and linguistic students through research undergraduate experiences and coursework on language documentation. I'd like to introduce Larry Kimura, who will share more details about the background of the Kaniʻāina project through this short video. Mahalo.
He pukoʻa Kaniʻāina. Ma kēlā manaʻo o ka pukoʻa ka mea ulua nui he moku a Kaniʻāina. Hiki ke lohe ke kūpono ma ia leo kani ma ka pepeiao. No ko kākou ʻaina o Hawaiʻi nei, ka pae ʻaina e kani kūpono ai ka leo o kēia ʻaina he ʻōlelo Hawaiʻi. No kēia Kaniʻāina o kēia waihona leo, mana leo Hawaiʻi, aia kēia kahuapaʻo Kaniʻāina ma Ulukau. Ua hoʻomaka ka waihona leo o Kaniʻāina me kēia ʻohina nui o ia hoʻi kēia papahana lekio o ka leo Hawaiʻi.
Ai, aloha nui kākou e nā hoa makamaka o ka leo Hawaiʻi, mai nei.
Mālama ia kēia papahana ma loko o ka ʻōlelo Hawaiʻi. Ua kono ia he mana leo ma ka mea hiki. O ka nui o lako he poʻe kupuna I o'o nā makahiki. Hila lako a hiki I keia wā e kamakama I leo ana ma ka ʻōlelo Hawaiʻi. A leila hoʻopuka ia kekahi wau ike. Moʻolelo kuʻuna, moʻolelo pilikino, ua piha, ma kahi o ka 5 haneli, 2 kumalima, ola. Waihona waiwai no kākou. ʻAʻole no ka ʻōlelo wale no akā o ka ike. Nui nā ʻano kumuhana e hiki ke wae ia e hohoihoi ai ka poʻe hoʻolohe. No leila, o ia keia ʻohina leo o kū I ka mana leo, mau minuke pokole I unuhi ia mai ke la mau lola loʻihi. Nā ʻano kumuhana like ʻole. O ka hoʻomaka keia e hoʻouka I keia punaewele a hoʻolako I ka lehulehu no ka hoʻohana ʻana.
Aloha, mahalo no iaʻu apau I nā ʻololo apau o nā kupuna.
No leila, ua ana ia, ke ʻano ka hoʻohana ia o keia waihona leo. Maikaʻi ka ike no ka mea ke hoʻohana ia nei I ka wā kula, nā hola o ke ao. Hiki ke kuhi me ka ikaika o ia ka wā e mālama nei I nā kula kaiapuni ʻōlelo Hawaiʻi. A o lākou ka mea e pono ai I keia hana. No leila hauʻoli ka ike I ke la ʻano helu o ka hoʻohana ia. O keia mahele hana o ka hoʻokiko hoʻe ʻana I ka leo. He nani ka manaʻo a ka he hana no. Pono e kiʻi keia mau lako mikini o ka wā mamua a ke kai manaʻo kahiko loa pono e pono hou a maikaʻi no ka hoʻohana ʻana. Pono e hai I ke kai poʻe 5 hana e hoʻomaʻa ai I keia hana ke kai. Nui ke la mau hana e pono ai I ke kālā. Mahalo hoʻi ka loa o ke kōkua hoʻi o keia kālā nui. Ia NSF, ia NEH, o a me ka Ford Foundation. Mahalo a nui loa. No ka mea, nui ka lako ma ka palapala. Palapala, nani ka palapala. A ka nani pū ka mea ma ka lohe. No leila ka waiwai keia ano waihona leo. He mea kōkua keia no nā ano lāhui o iwili ke ole. He hana nui e alu ai nā lāhui e mālama nei ka lako ʻōlelo kulana lana. Ka paʻa ana o keia mau leo kupuna no nā hanauna ma hope mai. Ua loa ke la makana aloha no nā moʻopuna I hui ole me ko lako poʻe kupuna. A ka mamuli o keia hoʻopaʻa leo hiki a lako ke hoʻolohe. Homaikaʻi ke la.
We'd like to close with one more collaborative aspect of the Kaniʻāina project, which was the opportunity to hold a cross-campus college class this past spring. The course was titled Language Documentation and Revitalization in Hawaii and Beyond, and we saw this as a chance to bring together students from UH Hilo and UH Manoa to share experiences and ideas. The UH Hilo students were mostly undergraduates majoring in either Hawaiian language or linguistics, and the UH Manoa students were graduate students in linguistics concentrating in language documentation. The timing of the class ended up being fortuitous because when we were planning the class a few years ago, we were unsure what technology we'd need to hold a class that was bilocational or even that either campus could accommodate such a setup. But one of the silver linings of the pandemic is that by the time our class started last January, the students and the instructors were fully versed in teaching and learning through Zoom. In addition, the online modality allowed us to have guest speakers nearly every day, and we invited prominent language activists from Hawaii and around the world to join us. Most notably, this class was the first time that the history of the ʻŌlelo Hawaii revitalization movement has been formally taught in a UH class, and we're hoping to repeat the course this coming fall semester.
On behalf of Andrea, Larry, Danny, and myself, We'd like to thank you for joining our presentation called Kaniʻāina, a partnership in language science across 2 campuses of the University of Hawaiʻi. Mahalo.